Since roughly 33,000 BC, humans have been telling stories about gods and goddesses, heroes and monsters. In ancient Greece, these stories were an important part of everyday life. They explained everything from religious rituals to the weather and gave meaning to the world they saw around them. The word mythology comes from the Greek words mythos for story of the people and logos for word or speech. So mythology is the spoken story of a people. It's the study and interpretation of often sacred tales and fables of the human condition. Many of these myths told great stories of supernatural beings like satyrs and nymphs, mermaids, and heroes with superhuman, usually God-given powers. These stories tried to answer the most difficult and most basic questions of the human existence. To the ancients, the meaning of the story was the most important, not the literal truth. So what can we take away from these ancient myths today? Well, Joseph Campbell, the famous American mythologist, coined the phrase the hero's journey to explain a basic narrative that appears in drama, storytelling, myth, religious ritual, and personal development. He studied all the indigenous and cultural myths and stories of the world and found that there's one main storyline that exists within all of them. It describes the typical adventure of the character known as the hero. In his study of the myth of the hero, Campbell suggests the existence of what he calls a monomyth, a universal pattern that is common to heroic tales in every culture. The main character, the hero, goes out and achieves great deeds on behalf of himself, a group, or a civilization. Many books, as well as popular movies like The Wizard of Oz, Star Wars, Superman, The Godfather, Titanic, and Avatar, have used the framework of the hero's journey. The characters we see in our modern action hero movies are basically contemporary versions of ancient myths. All these great hero movies call on the hero within us all when we watch them. They are calling to you that this is your time to do this. The key to using the hero's journey as a light in our lives is to embrace metaphor. We've all heard the story about the Knights of the Round Table and their epic search for the Holy Grail. The story is not about the Grail itself, it's about the metaphor for that intangible feeling that they are searching for. Metaphors instruct us on how to lead an extraordinary and fulfilling life by embedding wisdom and information within the content of the story. Once we're taught about a mythical, heroic character, just thinking of that character invokes the entire story and its meaning. It's much easier to tell a story to help explain life than just simply giving an explanation. Stories are richer and move deeper into our psyche. So, it's possible to follow these hero stories, see ourselves in them, and therefore create the reality of a hero moving through the journey to reap the reward. In mythology, the hero's journey chronicles the notion that all mystical traditions call us to a deeper understanding of the act of living itself. Myths and stories guide us through trials and traumas from birth to death. We're all capable of finding meaning and purpose in our lives, and in the hero's journey, we find a model for learning how to live as a hero. The hero's journey is about saying yes to yourself and becoming more fully alive and passionate. The hero's journey is mainly about taking a journey to find the treasure of your authentic self, and then about returning home to tell your story to help transform the kingdom, the village, or community you inhabit, and in the process, your own life. The journey is fraught with dangers like metaphorical dragons and ogres that we must slay so we can reap the rewards of the knowledge we gain by finding our unique gifts. And we never stop journeying. In Campbell's classic version, he breaks down the journey into 3 phases he calls departure, initiation, and return. I've adopted a more personal development depiction of the 3 main phases and have titled them the preparation, the journey, and the return. In preparation, the hero is in one form of reality, the ordinary world, then is suddenly separated from it. They receive a call to action, gain a mentor, and learn of their destiny. This stage is the preparation for the rest of the journey and is where our ego is formed. The next phase of the journey, the hero comes into their own and steps into the special world to face and overcome problems. Here's where they finally meet their match and receive a renewed sense of purpose. This phase is about finding your soul's calling. And finally, the last phase is the return. The hero accepts their responsibility, gains some magical help, slays some dragons, and returns home with the treasure and stories. This phase is the culmination of the journey, where the hero learns the essence of their self and returns with the treasure of enlightenment and the telling of the adventure. The journey is depicted as a circle because the hero must always return to bring both the treasure of the victory home and the story so others may find and partake in their own hero's journey.